Hey there, and welcome back to Cade Made. This is part 2 of our tiny cabin retreat in the woods makeover, which we've been working on for a little bit more than a month. If you haven't seen part 1, please go back and check that out after you've watched this video, and it might provide a little bit more context to the changes and how it looked before. And otherwise, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the interior of the space and the simple changes that we did and the things that we brought in order to make this place really functional for the rest of this season into the fall. And of course, I have thought of other things that I want to do to this cabin, but that will come in the spring. I feel like this place really needs to be a place of retreat. And in fact, I've already been here for 24 hours and I've basically taken naps, sat and enjoyed a rainstorm, and just basically retreated and found a very serene space. So this video is going to be very relaxed. Thank you for joining, and I just am so excited to bring you on this little journey of this place. Welcome inside. All right. So beginning on the first floor, and this cabin is about 250 square feet, we're guessing. And the purpose of the first floor is basically to be a place to drop our things, keep our dry items inside, as well as hang out a little bit during the day perhaps, and do some work, or as well as having a third place to sleep. So this is a modular sectional with bolsters that we brought down part of, and it's really incredibly useful because this is one half of a queen size bed. It's a perfect sleeping space for one additional person, and it worked out really, really well, and is also just awesome for hanging out on and lounging and just having as a place to do a little bit of laptop work during the day and, you know, cooling down in the AC. Like I said in the last episode, everything that we brought down here is from our house. Like, we didn't buy anything hardly new for this space, except for the exterior paint, basically, and finishes. But other than that, everything came from around. So all of these are just old throw pillows that we had, and all worked together in a very kind of bohemian way. And just bringing down a couple lamps. There's this trunk here, which is great for storing linens, and just a little corner for Fargo near the front when he's here, as well as storage in the closet. The storage closet's a little bit of a mess, but it houses everything it needs to house. And we're just really fortunate to have electricity and AC in this space. It's quite magical to be able to not only cool down, but also relax. It's a sweat bomb outside, to be quite honest with you. Okay, so going up to the loft. As you can see, these steps, aka ladder, is quite steep. It's a little scary to get down in the middle of the night, but it's totally functionally perfect for this. This loft fits a king-size bed, and that is basically it. There's a little bit of space right there, but otherwise this bed is here, and it's pretty comfortable, actually. The bed was in the space, and when I discovered that it was comfortable, I put a mattress cover on it and decided that it was perfect until other options were present. But otherwise, it's a very comfortable bed, and it's just perfect for hanging out and relaxing and sleeping. But yeah, it's just, that's the size of this space. In all honesty, this space just needs to be comfortable enough for the nighttime and sometimes during the heat of the day, but we're basically going to spend most of the time outside on the outside deck, and definitely at the pool. I'm going to show you the outside deck next. So of course the exterior, we painted all of the trim Country Redwood by Benjamin Moore, and then I also added these lights, and I thought that they were somewhat classic and also reminiscent of other lights on some of the other places on the property, which you'll see a little later on. Coming around to this side, this deck, we don't quite know what to do with this deck. It's kind of a great yoga deck, and I think that we should maybe just keep it open, keep the option open for whatever here, but it's just a pretty wide deck. And then of course the seating area, And all of the cushions, of course, and everything is just stuff that I brought down. We've had these rugs forever, and these chairs we've had for a long time, and it just really all seemed to bring a bit of inspired design here. So quite pleased with how everything looks. This is amazing. I mean, we were here last weekend with a bunch of friends, and it was a wonderful place to hang out. Even last night, I just hung out here and just stared out into the forest, and it was quite peaceful. So then over here is our little kitchen area, and we have this table with our coffee mugs and what would be food if there was more food out for the day, and of course a little mini fridge which we can put inside, of course, whenever we're not here. But you can't leave home without a coffee maker, albeit that one's not that fabulous, but it makes the coffee, and that's most important. Yeah, it's really an easy place to be. It's just very cool that we have the honor of having this space. So I'm quite hot. I'm sweating all over the place, and I think it might be a time for a visit to the pool. Come on, let's go. Let's go to the pool. This is the main cabin where the owners reside, although they're not here. So cute. And then you go down this way. We call this the jazz shower. It's a bit primitive, but it's really wonderful actually. It inspired me to make the one at our house. Let's go around the porch. Isn't this wonderful? Of course, the ceiling is painted blue. This wonderful situation here. Oh my gosh, this is so romantic, right? So then around this way, the real surprise is the pool. Isn't this unbelievable? I mean, it's really cool. Here is the glass house. Got a fire pit. You can really see how this has inspired our home if you go back to previous Cade Made videos, but this is so truly outrageously fabulous. And here is the glass house. They have a bar in here, loft bed, and then 2 bunks. And this is where food usually is served. And you go down here, and there is a bar. And you're back at the pool. Oh, that's so good. Going back towards the cabin now. This is Giacomo. He's the bunkhouse kitty. Hey, old guy. This kitty is 22 years old, and he is my faithful companion while I'm here. He sometimes comes down and visits us. What does that make him in? I think he's like 147 in kitty years. Oh, little guy. Wow. It is morning and I had a restful night's sleep and I'm packing up and getting ready to go. But before I went, I wanted to answer some of the questions and comments that were made on the last video that you all asked. So I thought I'd start here. This is another one of the buildings and it's got all mirrors on this whole side. So it just kind of reflects back and looks, I don't know. It reflects back like a mirror does. So Monica writes, hi Monica, fellow YouTuber. The Penafin is magical. Does it keep the wood that color once it dries? It does, for about 2 years. I would guess that it's probably an every other year application, but it is an oil-based product, and what's great about it is that it's penetrating. So when you do a surface stain on a deck or a fence, it has a tendency to flake off and peel. This just saturates the wood and gives it its natural luster and beautiful wood grain qualities. So it's great stuff. I've used it a ton. There was another comment about I used the Penafin over a little bit of area where some stuff had grown near the bottom, and I could have power washed that wood on the exterior, but it didn't really need to be done. And with the penetrating oil stain, you are able to just treat the wood, and it actually will slow down that algae growth. What would you call it? Mossy algae. It basically will just saturate that and probably kill it for now. It is a preventative, and that wood had never been treated, so it was kind of in amazing shape. The cabin is 5 years old. It's not too incredibly old. Do I plan my projects out ahead of time or do I create as I go? Both. I think that Mike likes a plan, and so I usually draw something up, or he'll draw something up and I'll work off of that, but I improvise, especially here. I think that I kind of just looked at what was needed at this place to get it operational, but most of the time I'm a half and half. I kind of create as I go, kind of plan, kind of do the thing. So I don't know. Does that help? Fix Your Lighting says, such a cute project, excited to follow along, love a power washer. Isn't that satisfying? Love a power washer. I love power washers. What's the plan for the decking? Also, what's the plan for the stove when it's cold and the ventilation when it's hot? So there is a window in the gable of the roof. You see those windows, the transparency from the loft bed, and one of those windows is operational, so you can vent right out. And I usually open it up when we show up to the space and open the doors just to get the mass of heat out of the space. But yeah, there's ventilation there. There is an AC unit, and so it stays probably about 75 degrees during a hot day. It's very efficient. It's probably a little big for that space, but it's a great to have an AC in the space. And then the stove, we are gonna try it once this fall and see how that goes and see how inspired by that. I'm excited to try the stove. I actually lived in a cabin for 6 months that was just heated by a wood stove, so every day, and it was during the winter too, so every day was starting a fire, and the heat is just, it's really lovely. It will probably cook that place because that little stove will pack a punch in a 250 square foot dwelling. And for the decking, I'll probably power wash it again in the spring and then use the Penafin on that as well. I just wanted to get the majority of the scum off of there for the time being. Oh my goodness, it's fantastic to watch, thank you. What a beauty you found. I do have a question, how did you find it? Did you search on Zillow? I've been looking for a few years for a little cabin. I have not been able to find one. I can't wait to see what you do with your gorgeous cabin. Oh yes, of course, this is Deezy. Deezy, hi Deezy. Okay, so there was another comment. Okay, there was another comment from Ask DJ too that kind of went along the same line. So I'm gonna give you the scoop. The scoop is that our friends have owned this piece of property since around 1980. They have slowly developed these outbuildings. So there is the main house that I showed you, and then there's the pool area, and then you come further back on the ridge of the property and you have the bunkhouse, and then you have our cabin as well as this cabin, and then there's another one over on the other side as well. It's basically, they bought all of the materials for these cabins, and then if somebody had an inspiration to build something, they allowed them to build it, but they paid for all of the materials and they pay for everything. I mean, they're really, really generous people, and this farm was basically purchased as a way to get away from the city for them and for all of their friends, which we are just lucky enough to be part of. So the scoop is that there's no rent, there's no anything other than we're maintaining the space, and we have the opportunity to use it anytime it's available for us. All right, Poppy Sydney writes, I've watched all your videos. You have great style, wonderful voice. Thank you. Your way of speaking paints a picture. That's so nice. I can't believe you don't have more followers. It doesn't matter. It's totally okay. I just enjoy making videos when I'm able to make them. And if I had more videos, perhaps more people would follow, but I'm very happy with anybody who wants to watch a little slice of my life and sharing my creative passion. Ah! Ah! Oh my God, a squirrel. Ah! Oh my God. I'm standing here, a little slice of my life. How about that for a little slice? A squirrel just came and just darted right in between my legs. I literally jumped over the oh my gosh. I gotta get out of here. Okay. Everything is okay. I'm gonna take that as a sign to sign off, pack up my things, and head home for this trip. But thank you everybody for your comments and your questions and everything. I hope I answered most of them. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you very soon on Cade Made, so please subscribe and like this video, and we will see you very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Oh my God. Oh my God. Spider webs everywhere.